use was save states, right? Now 3DS has like homebrew functionality where you can use save states, right? But there's no movie recording functionality with these save states, and they're like kind of jank. They're like a little tiny bit jank. So what I did is I just went through and used save states, recorded, many segments of the run, did a lot of re-records, and then I spliced all of those, segments together that actually worked.
So it's like halfway to a task.
It's like halfway to a task, but it's all done in real time. The only thing that's used is save states. And yes, there are a ton of splices. The final render of this video, I think the longest like segment of it is like 1 minute long or something. So at this point, you've already seen like 2 splices, but it's all almost frame perfect in most places. Okay. Yeah. So there are probably a handful of moments where if you know what you're looking for, you can see them, but there's only like 1 or 2 frames, or maybe like a small audio like jump or skip or something, but like they're not even noticeable.
Yeah, and most of it is just because like OT 3D like or 3DS in general tasking isn't really quite there yet, right? Like all those.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I think
so. This is like. Go ahead.
It could be possible on Citra, probably very soon. I think the only thing that is really needed is like proper save stating, which doesn't exist yet on 3DS emulator.
Okay, so yeah, this is just the next best thing to an actual tools to do tool assisted runs.
Right. At this point, there is this is like the closest we can get to a perfect run. And another thing I'd like to state is that like don't go into this expecting task level like gameplay, because there are mistakes. Like right there, you could even see a mistake there. Like it took me 2 tries to do that trick. There, like I picked some of my battles on this one because it took me like 4 months to make this thing, and yeah, I would say the quality, my tolerance for mistakes decreases as the run continues, so it gets better. By the second point of the run, there are very, very few mistakes that you can see.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about that trick there too. How'd you get out so fast?
Cool. So actually, I think they've kind of found ways to do that same thing on the original version of OOT. Like
it was kind of found recently,
which is funny because this has been a thing. This has been a thing in OOT 3D since like the day it came out. I think maybe like the day after. Basically,
it was very early on. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wasn't in the scene at that point, so I don't know for certain, but it was within the first week of it coming out. You can swing your sword 3 times, and then when you put it away, you just take this huge step backwards. It's like an insane amount of speed, but it doesn't go super far, and you only get it for like a frame or 2, and you can just like clip through stuff. You're gonna see it way more in this run, just clipping through like acute angles and stuff like that.
It's like one of the most common clipping methods in this game.
I would say not anymore.
Oh, really?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, the game has just evolved so much that you don't see it quite as much. But yeah,
understandable.
It's pretty cool. And Dexter, I'm offended that you think we're at any doors.
We are at 0 doors, and that number will not go up.
There will be no door counter. I'm not going to make you babysit a door counter because
thank you.
It doesn't exist. There aren't any doors. I mean, there are, but we're
not acknowledging them. They don't deserve attention.
There is one moment in this game, in this run, in this recorded version of the run, where I am next to the A door, and my A button says open on like the bottom right corner of the screen, and it's terrifying. And if you can find it, then I guess you get like a cookie or something. So the beginning portion of this run is actually going to get going faster than most OT 3D runs, but Yeah, the beginning is kind of it's so-so. It starts a little slow. So there's a lot of small optimizations. Like right there, you could see that I slashed into that loading zone. And that's because we want to enter into Hyrule Castle there with as little speed as possible. And the reason for that is because time does not pass in Hyrule Castle or Hyrule Market, and we want time to be going as fast as possible.
Yeah, and you have to leave and reload that area so that Malon appears there. She's not there the first time you enter here to give you the egg.
Yes, it's actually slightly faster to get caught by a guard. This guard right here. But like, because I had to get those rupees in Hyrule Field, I actually don't have enough time to do that without, getting to Talon late. Because the goal is just like do as much important stuff as you can and still make it to Talon on time. And unfortunately, you don't have time to get to the guard when you get those rupees. I think the guard saves like a second and a half, so it's not huge. Oh yeah, text is kind of it's not a big thing, but people think it's a big thing. Text doesn't matter because I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this yet. Yeah, OT3D has this really cool thing that I actually like a lot, even though it's annoying sometimes, where every frame box has a 1 frame window. Or every text box, sorry, I said frame box. Every text box has a 1 frame window where if you hit the B button, it instantly advances to the end of it. You don't have to watch it scroll at all. So I actually, for some parts of the run where there's like a lot of text, I actually created a segment just to do all of the text as fast as I could. And
so a light medallion split is actually meaningful.
Yes, it is. Like you can lose like 15 seconds in that.
But yeah, so that's why text doesn't matter too much in this game, since in theory it's basically all the same.
The only thing that really matters is number of text boxes that you have to advance. Good guards.
Very nice.
That didn't take me that long. I think that only maybe took me 15 attempts to get those guards. So yeah, the thing that really matters is number of text boxes, and even then, you're talking maybe a quarter of a second per text box. So, and the amount of differing text boxes throughout various versions or languages barely matters.
Yeah, and even if you don't, and even when you don't get the quick text box, the text in this game is super fast, at least compared to the original. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're already a minute ahead of original in this cutscene.
Yep. I think there's... Yeah, one thing, we used to think that Spanish was maybe a little faster before everyone realized that it really did. Or didn't matter, but it was... Yeah, I think Spanish slingshot text was 5 text boxes. They were all huge. Stuffed with text, but English is only 3. So I don't know why that was a thing. I guess it takes more time to explain the slingshot in Spanish than it does in English. But that's the biggest one I remember of being a big difference. And even then, we're talking 2 seconds slower if you're bad at mashing. Yeah, this is normal 3DS audio. I encoded this thing at insanely high settings. This video actually took about 20 hours to encode. So
nice.
Yeah. It's encoded very high resolution, very high settings. It's super high bitrate. I wanted it to look good.
I only downloaded the 720p version.
Oh, did you download it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's CFG's fault then, because it sounds really good on my end. I don't know, or maybe I'm. It
should. Well, I mean, even then, the audio should still be fine. I think it's just 3DS audio in general.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that it sounds worse than console, so yeah. I don't think anyone's lying. Hey, this cutscene's like really cool. And we're not skipping it because we don't really have a way to skip it.
Yeah,
I mean, we
if
do have
only you
ways to
could.
skip it.
If only you could get something to kill yourself earlier.
Yeah. So there's getting kind of the thing in this game that's really setting it back at this point is not being able to get any form of like explosives earlier than we already do. And so yeah, there's no death warp here. If we were to get the slingshot somehow earlier in the run, which there's like 1 or 2 categories that like have in the past gotten a slingshot, you can actually do a death warp there by shooting one of the windows. And there's a Hyrule guard who will throw a bomb out the window, and you can use that for the death warp. But it's really hard because the position of the bomb is totally random. There's a really good video of Runner Guy back in like 2011 trying to do it, and I guess he gets it on the first try.
Yeah,
it was like really
it was
loud.
actually pretty sick.
It's like yes,
getting that
try.
cutscene skip with that bomb is actually really cool.
Yeah, it was it's a pretty good video. So we're just we're walking here. So I swear things are about to get interesting, but first we got to do cuckoos.
Nice. I know this part.
Yeah, I think most people know this part. These are suboptimal cuckoos. Look at that. Because I was like, no one's gonna.
No one cares
cuckoos,
about suboptimal cuckoos. Whatever, just get it over with.
Yeah, I'm like, no one's gonna care if this looks perfect. Like, it's not very impressive.
Everyone's tabbed out right now. They'll be back in a minute.
Please don't.
They're checking Twitter right now.
Okay, so I've seen a couple people talk about gyro camera in the chat, and I will say I was not a believer in the gyro camera in my early days, but it's actually really good. It's really good. There are parts like climbing walls with skulltulas on them, wall skulltulas. You can like zoom your camera or pan it like way far up, so you can like see the ones that are coming up and like avoid them, and it's amazing. Flip side, wall skulltulas move like 60% faster in this game, so they're like impossible to seek out. Their speed was not modified as far as like units per frame or whatever, I think. And since this game runs at 30 FPS as opposed to 20, they move like 66% faster or whatever. Yeah.
Another thing they didn't modify for the frame rate change.
Yeah, there's not many of them, but there's a couple of them because most of the animations are like remade from scratch. So they had to go in and do it. But there's a couple of things that don't matter.
I know one in particular is item drops on the ground. They disappear faster. Yeah, they disappear faster because of the frame rate.
And it makes it so that an important trick doesn't work in this game, which is great. 20 to 30, isn't that 50? Yeah, I guess that is 50. Listen, I went to college, okay? I got a degree. So I believe SRM is possible in O2 3D, but due to how precise it is and due to like our lack of super duper great practice tools at this point and whatnot, and like emulation, like task tools, it's not, no one's done it. And so we haven't really been looking into it too much. But there's actually someone right now, GameStable, making some pretty robust test tools, I believe, or at least that's the goal. So we'll see. Hey, this part of the run's actually really cool. And I also want to say that it's, as of a month ago, obsolete by a much faster, much easier thing, but also less cool. And I would have had to have redone a lot of stuff to like change it for the newer strat. But this is cool and I like it. Okay, so
Nice. Well, what was that?
Yeah.
Your sword's glow.
So that was a little thing. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Infinite Sword Glitch. And yeah,
that rings a bell.
So I think now my sword is slashing 50 times. I don't really know how it works. I guess I just got lucky. That's a little reference for you gamers. But yeah, now I think sword slashing every frame, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. So ISG is really easy to get on N64 because you can just interrupt a crouch stab with like picking something up or like text or something, but that's not possible. You can't interrupt a crouch stab in this game. What you can interrupt is a jump slash with dying, and also a quick spin, but that's a little more situational. So if you die in midair while your sword hitbox is out, and then revive yourself before you hit the ground and get the game over thing, you get ISG. But if I put my sword away, I will lose it because the animation of taking items out and putting items away also cancels ISG.
So ISG got pretty nerfed in this compared to original OOT.
Very. I think we called this guy Scooby. I don't remember, but he's our friend. So we're just gonna take him for a little walk.
Nice.
Yep, there he goes.
Yeah, so when you shield damage in the air while you have ISG, you hover in the air. And you can repeat that over and over to gain a lot of height and go up that wall.
So it works like exactly the same way in N64, besides the things I already explained. And there's also one other really weird thing where if you do manage to put away your sword, which there are ways to do it, it also your sword hitbox is active on every part of the map. So every enemy dies pretty much. So that's really cool. So now we're just gonna... This is really precise what I'm about to do here. So that was a seam walk. And so I believe I take my time with this a little bit. This was a very difficult segment to record. So, because, yeah, I messed with it for a while. I think this whole segment took me like 3 or 4 hours to get perfectly. So you can just barely hit the end of that loading zone. It's teeny tiny.
Yeah, it's so close to not working. Yeah,
and so for a while we actually thought it didn't work because if you're not like totally smack dab in the middle, the collision on the edge of that loading zone actually will like push you to the left or the right. So you have to be like right in the middle because it's so pointy. And yeah, but it's good. Yeah, that segment took me like 3 or 4 hours, and part of that might be because I accidentally recorded it once with audio in the background that wasn't the game, and I had to go back and do it.
Nice.
But the second time I did it faster, so it worked out. Ooh, there's actually, I believe the next thing that's going to happen in the run is something that a lot of people ask if it's a trick that works on the 3D version. It's a very important, big, cool, flashy glitch on the N64 version. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I would... Come on, I got to keep you guys on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, no spoilers.
ZFG's not going to do it. I got to do it. You didn't watch this, right?
I skimmed through it, but I didn't really see anything too important.
Okay. Or you didn't really see anything too interesting because it's crap. None of this is good.
I accidentally let it slip.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, this whole thing is actually such a trash run.
It's pretty bad.
I'm just kidding. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, no, it's good. This is my child. It's my little baby. So now we're going to the Deku tree. You can actually advance text so fast there. I didn't there, but you can actually advance it so fast that you can begin moving before his mouth is totally open, and you can like see it coming down as you move towards it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. This segment took me a while to record as well, but it's good. I think there's still one mistake here that makes me cringe a little bit, but that's fine. So like I said, the skull tools move way faster in this game.
Yeah, that was
so
definitely really fast.
Right, my ability to juke him out there is actually like non-trivial. Okay, so I don't have anything to stun this guy, so I'm just gonna kill him. Okay, so an interesting thing, yeah, that's flashy, that's cool. An interesting thing about Deku sticks in this game is their hitbox is huge, and it goes like behind Link's head. So if you hit a wall behind you, like you can hit walls behind you when you jump slash with the Deku stick, and you can get anti-grab there and do B1 skip, so it's pretty cool.
It's really interesting because I think they tried to prevent you from doing recoils like that by not having hitbox in front of you, and then they just put it behind you instead, and it doesn't really change too much in some places.
Only with the Deku stick is that. Yeah, what's this?
This looks familiar.
Yeah, this is a throwback.
Whoa, you're moving, but you have an item.
I am moving. Yeah, I do. Look at that. There it is. Oh no, I see it in the chat. I see Nulf. Get rid of it.
The bad name for this.
Burn it.
Okay, so now you're getting Zelda's letter, right?
Yes, I'm getting Zelda's letter. Oh man. Yeah, no. So if you look at Link's like the animation for Link's jump slash, the hitbox for the sword. Yeah, I got the text here. I'm sorry. That was the mistake I was talking about. That makes me cringe. Yeah. So this is Gim. This is Gim. Can anyone guess what I'm about to get here? Because I don't think you'll find out for a little bit. I don't make a big deal about it because
I think I know what it is, but I don't know if I should spoil it.
We can let people guess. It's not green potion.
People guess.
It's not green potion.
So yeah, I guess we should explain that glitch. So when you pick up an item like right outside the crawl space, when the crawl space camera corrects itself when you grab the item again, it kind of lets you move if you get hit by an enemy. So then the enemy hits you, you're able to move around, and Link is like in this state where when he resurfaces in the water, he'll grab an item. But you can change that item by going in front of a chest, and going in front of that chest changes it to question mark. We'll find out sometime.
Yeah, question mark. The next time I pause, I think you'll find out. But I don't actually know if that's... Alright, don't laugh. Don't laugh!
Nice.
Don't laugh! Yeah. So I mean that's basically it. When you pick up that item there and start moving around, the game really wants to give you an item, like really badly, and so that's what it does. It gives you a fancy item that wasn't actually the one that.
Yeah, and I guess it should be noted that what item you get in regular OT and OT 3D are different.
Yes,
like the item list is slightly different in both games, so. In normal OT, that would have given blue potion. That's not necessarily what's going to be given in this game.
Yes. So this is a familiar trick with a new coat of paint on it, and also it takes a tiny bit longer to do. But so I'm just chilling, just catching my breath. So that's a Navi dive. You'll see a couple more of those. Basically, you can use that same triple slash thing that we did at the beginning of the run to, when you talk to Navi, you take a big step back and you just kind of fall the bottom.
Yeah, and water doesn't affect you while its text box is up or while you're talking to Navi, so you just kind of fall through the water.
GFG, can you remind me how many doors we've opened at this point?
I think we opened 0 doors.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember any doors that we have encountered. We've
No,
not
I
been
think you're
defeated
right.
by any doors yet.
I don't think there've been any doors. So this actually, what I'm about to do here is pretty goofy, but I don't think there's a way with the current methods and strats and what's not to avoid doing this. But we're gonna play the diving game, so that's fun.
How many dives?
People who watched, not good.
Okay.
This was also a segment that I had to re-record, and this was the last segment I actually recorded, and I was kind of burnt out by this point.
All right.
So
three dives isn't too bad. Average.
no, the initial record that I did. So I'm just gonna say what I did. I played the dive game. On my first attempt, I got like a 2 dive, and I was like, oh, awesome, great. And then I just never got the silver scale. I just went right past it, and then
nice.
Later on, I was like, wait, what? Why don't I?
Okay, I've done that in rando too, so I can't laugh at that.
So yeah, that was actually I went back and recorded that at the very end when I was done with everything. There were a couple segments that I re-recorded. So yeah. And there's Rudo's letter. Very good. So Rudo's letter is actually very important for some stuff that I'm going to be doing later in the run, but that won't come up for like another hour, actually. But we just need it. We need it. I'll explain it when we get there. But just it should also be noted that it'd be really cool if we were doing like some crazy Hesses and stuff in here. Did I spoil? I guess Hess. No, I mean that's not really a spoiler.
I think they know.
But we don't have
know about that.
Yeah, we don't have any explosives or anything yet, so we're just gonna roll and backwalk and side hop, and that's cool too. Hey, this was one of the parts in the run where I said, "Oh no, this is gonna take me a really long time to get a good segment recorded." But I did everything first try for real.
Nice.
So yeah, not everything. I did the really hard stuff first try. It was actually the easy stuff that took me like maybe
what's going on here?
10-20 minutes. So this is a pot. And
is this what I think it is? Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Hey, you got this first try. Wow.
I got this part first try right here.
Okay.
What you're about to see. Don't blink. Okay, that's really precise.
Yeah, so that's ISG again, and
and we're
it sucks doing it on flat ground like that. Whoa, what's going on here?
Taking a stairway to heaven. So we're just kind of, ascending. There he goes. So that is an invisible seam, and I believe they exist on N64. Actually, this is
they do exist on N64, but I think that one in particular doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
So basically, like at parts of collision that like come together. So there's 2 different pieces of collision that like come together right at that spot, and they kind of form a line on the ground. For some reason in this game, there's a lot of areas where there's just like this invisible seam that just goes all the way up to the sky. They are limited. They don't literally go infinitely upwards, but some of them go really high. There's one in the Deku tree that is like right next to the cobweb that goes literally to the ceiling.
Nice.
And I think it is technically possible to climb them without ISG, but it would be so precise that I don't know if it's like actually feasible. Even on a task.
Yeah, so those exist in regular OOT, but I think they're significantly more common in 3D, and
they're all
definitely
over the place.
Go higher. Yeah, because in regular OOT there's a few spots where you can find them, They only go usually a little bit off the ground. There's one in like Lost Woods, I think, that goes like maybe a full link off the ground. But for some reason, they're way more common in this game.
Yep, they're just all over the place. And that is not the last time you will be seeing our friend the Invisible Seam. Spoilers. I think I pause here, so if you're really attentive, you can see what item I got in the Deku Tree.
Whoa, was that a hammer?
I think that was a hammer.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good item.
That is a pretty good item, and that's also like very important and very convenient. Hey, this is a trick that a lot of people probably haven't seen.
I remember
Don't mind
this.
me getting on the fence twice. If you look at the bottom left-hand screen, you can look at the mini map and see where I'm walking around. There it goes. So
Nice.
that's walking while talking, and basically it's the same thing as like the game I did earlier with the crawl space, except you can keep the camera locked there, and if you make your way over to the loading zone, the guard in front of Cookier's Forest, his collision isn't loaded because he's too far off camera. You can kind of just walk right through him. So you could do a damage super slide here off of one of the P hats, but, and I will explain why this is really important. We want to enter the market as it's turning night. We want it to be night in the market, and that's actually really important. But it's kind of not obvious why that's really important. But it makes something work that like just barely works, and just backwalking got me there pretty much right on time. So I guess I could have saved a little bit of time, but you know, whatever. So yeah, now we're just chilling in the market. Couple of dogs. We are going to enter the back alley. So this is a really important glitch right here that I just did. Of course, you'll notice I am setting Furor's Wind, which is not normally something you ought to be doing. But that is restricted items, and it's a huge oversight on Krezo's part, where basically you'll notice that I think you'll actually be able to see it here. That Furor's Wind in my item menu in the bottom left hand corner is like dimmed out, like you can't use it. But all my other items like are lit up, like you can use them. So if you switch an item that's dimmed with an item that's lit up, it's lit, I think is what the kids say. There is a 1 frame window where you leave the menu, where you can use like the availability of those items switch, or the usability. So the Furor's Wind becomes usable, and like the other item is not usable. So that's really cool. So it lets us use Furor's Wind pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, and that is one glitch that does not work in regular OOT, and I desperately wish it did.
It's so busted. It's so busted. And we're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff with it. Hey, here's another trick that doesn't exist in regular OOT. Getting hit by these business scrubs.
I think you can get hit by them, actually. I think I remember doing that once.
I think you can get hit by them, but can you do this? Actually, you can do that, but you can't.
Well, you can do it without the saving and quitting. That part you can't do.
Game. Hey,
that doesn't look like where you entered.
That is not where I entered. Or is it? It's not. So now I'm going to return Furor's Wind. And so here's that really important thing I was telling you about. I will explain everything that's going on here in just a second. But right now I'm out of bounds, right? And let's just say that where I spawn right here is dependent on the coordinates of where I set Furor's Wind, right? And so the back alley actually has slightly different coordinates. There are a couple units different from night to day. And if you do not set Furor's Wind there at night, the coordinates actually don't put you out of bounds. They put you in bounds. So that's why it had to be at night. It barely works. You are barely out of bounds, but hey, it works. So that was a Death Hole wrong warp, and it's super cool. And we have a decent amount of time to explain it. So basically what's happening is when you die there, the game basically cancels your ability to like enter the grotto, right? So then you have time to like quit the game before the area is loaded. So at that point, what the game is trying to do is it's trying to do two things to you. It's trying to put you on the title screen because you quit the game, and then it's also trying to load the grotto. And so what that does is it kind of does both of them. So the title screen is like actually an entrance, right? It's like there's like an entrance value for it. So what it's doing is it's loading the entrance value for the title screen, but it's applying the game mode of the title screen too, which is kind of a complicated topic. But basically, it's known as attract mode, right? So like when you boot up Ocarina of Time, and there's like the opening cutscene of Link riding around Hyrule Field, that's attract mode, and that's basically it's called attract mode because like arcades would do it, like they'd have a little idle cinematic on the title screen to attract customers to play the game. And so what's going on is that sets an offset to every loading zone. It sets an offset of 4 to every loading zone you enter at that point. And so basically loading zones just start taking you to seemingly random places like when you do this. And one of the loading zones on the chain we just went through, we spawned in Hyrule Field, then we entered the shooting gallery, which took us outside Temple of Time, and then entering Temple of Time took us to the loading zone of the entrance of picking up or putting away the Master Sword, which puts us behind the Door of Time, and then we can pick up the Master Sword. The really interesting thing about that is you can only do that once, okay? Because the cutscene of entering the Temple of Time actually cancels that glitch. There's a cutscene where it like pans around and it's like, hey, Temple of Time. That cutscene cancels the Death Toll Wrong Warp glitch and pulls you out of attract mode. So if you don't cancel the glitch, the loading zone for picking up the Master Sword actually will crash the game. So it's a one-time thing. I can't do that again, or the game will crash. So, it's kind of a miracle.
Yeah, that trick is basically like super wrong warping.
Yes, and you're gonna see more of them. Trust me, you will see more of them. And you can start chaining them together in really cool ways. So you can go to like multiple places because the really good thing is that Hyrule Market is like a hub for a bunch of different really cool places that you can go. Like every single loading zone in Hyrule Market takes you to somewhere really cool. And I'm not going to spoil any of that because we're going to use some of them in this run. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's really neat because in regular Ocarina of Time, wrong warping is actually pretty limited. You can basically do wrong warps from the dungeons only once, and then the outside of dungeons wrong warps are very they require very specific circumstances to actually use them. And then in this, you just like find a grotto, and then you have your access to wrong warp.
Yup. And so it's really good. And there's another layer on top of that we will get to later that makes everything I just explained about twice as complicated as it already is. And then you start looking at like, oh, actually, no, not yet. No. Yeah, we get even more complicated, and like coordinates and rune values and things start like coming up, and it's so good. It's so good. We're gonna get to that when we get to it, but yeah, it's great. It's great. Oh yeah, Sheik's legs, the legendary blade. Good. That's a good cutscene. So we haven't beaten any dungeons yet, so we're not doing so hot on the whole all dungeons part, but we're still doing pretty good with the.
It's okay, slow start, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we're still doing pretty good with the no doors thing.
You still got a medallion. That's progress.
Right. Well, so I made that overlay and I was like, this seems like a cool idea to track dungeon progress, but the light medallion's kind of just like, I guess I'll just throw that on there anyways. Yeah. It's not a dungeon. So the very beginning part, it's still good. Don't worry, we're gonna get to some really, really cool stuff here in a minute. But there's still a bit more setup in the adult portion. The dungeons are definitely backloaded in this run. There's a lot of dungeons towards the end, and we'll kind of blow through them. But the beginning is a bit more setup. But
Yeah,
the
a
setup
lot of these. Go ahead.
The setup's really cool. Like
Yeah.
you're going to see some interesting stuff that you won't see in OOT, and you won't really see in OOT 3D either.
Yeah, a lot of these types of runs have a lot of like setup early on, and then once things are set up, then like everything goes crazy.
Oh yeah, spoilers. We're gonna do Danpei in a second, and I want people to start putting their votes in for
What's the time gonna be? What's the fastest time in OT 3D?
Well, it's probably the same, right?
I just wasn't sure if there might have been like some kind of minor differences. So you're getting a 46, right?
Yeah, I'm getting a 46, I think.
Okay, cool.
Dude, someone said 69 in the chat. That's funny.
Wow.
That's probably the first time someone's made that joke in your chat.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened. What an incredibly clever chatter.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, just rolling along here. I think if I had bombs here, I would have tried to super slide all the way through this, but I don't have bombs, so I didn't.
Oh, do you know if Danpei does the weird movement thing if you do a super slider Hess compared to OT, the regular OT?
So I think what we decided is that Hessing, because you're like moving backwards, you have like negative speed, you have like recoil speed. He slows down, but if you do like a fest, like a forward super slide, it doesn't affect him, so you can go really fast. But I'm not. Don't quote me on that one. So you can technically get a better time, but it's really hard. Hey, 43. Yeah, rolling in general movement is like
that's
considerably
like
faster.
3 seconds better than my best. Wow, I just got owned.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, it's Danpei's. What did he say? Stretching, shrinking tool or something? Is that the quote for it? I don't remember. Yeah,
I have no idea.
That's what he calls it. He calls it something.
I think he calls it
right.
a spring-loaded something.
Oh yeah, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Oh yeah, I like this part. This is just, I don't know. This isn't that impressive or cool, but this is just like a really cute little jump right here. I like it.
That's neat.
I like it. Hey, we were here earlier, except like we kind of weren't here.
I saw this room for a few seconds.
Yeah, you saw it for a few seconds, accompanied by the game over screen. Yeah, I guess you're not really supposed to die in there. So like the game over camera in that room is like really weird. It like points at the door. I guess like the angles on the camera just goes to like 0. Probably. That magic drop is scary. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, so this segment is actually a little goofy. Spoilers, I walk really far when I technically don't have to walk really far, and I thought I was going to have to go back and redo a bunch of stuff, but then I realized it doesn't actually matter because we're going to have to wait for the Cuckoo egg to hatch anyways. So I walked like all the way across Hyrule Field here to get to a specific grotto, but there's another grotto that is like exactly the same that's also way closer. So but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because
we get to take the scenic route.
Yeah, we gotta wait for night anyways, and there's gonna be a little bit more waiting later. Also Big Poe. I really like this segment coming up, but there's like one don't laugh moment like right at the beginning of it that I was almost going to fix, but it would have taken me like 2 hours of setup to actually do it, and it would have been like the last thing I was going to record. And I was just like, do I really care that much to fix like a 5-second mistake? Probably not. So we're just taking our buddy over here. This took me a really long time. I was actually pretty surprised.
Oh, nice. Died right as you did the jump slash.
Yep. That's not the mistake. That was really good, actually. Very, very cool. Oh, this is something I need to explain. Okay, so when you're in death hole mode, you'll see that my bottom screen is like grayed out. I can't use it. So the only buttons I can use are my Y and X equipped buttons. So I believe I have hook shot and bottle equipped. And when you go into water, right, normally things that are in your hand like get put away, but they don't in this game. So I can, when you're in death hole, so you can do what is known as a shield swipe to get bottle on B. You can shield swipe over your sword. Like bottle dupe over your sword. And so I just did RBA with the Pocket Cucko, and I got the best gauntlets. I got the purple gauntlets now.
Nice.
So those
Very
are really
nice
cool.
color. Wish OT had those.
They're really pretty. So yeah, basically, like I'm kind of, I don't know, how do you explain? This hurts to watch. This hurts to watch. Okay, don't laugh. Okay, it's over. It's over. Phew.
And there's explosives.
There's explosives. We are 50 minutes into the run. We finally have explosives, so that's really cool. So yeah, you'll look. The bottom screen is still. I still can't use any of the menus on the bottom screen, but bear with me. There's actually a way to fix that. And that is by pulling out the Ocarina, which is a touchscreen button, so you can't use it. But if you do Ocarina items, which I just did there using Action Swap, you can use it. So that's cool. Hey, I'm taking this pod over here. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm sorry. It's so difficult to explain everything here. But that unlocks the bottom screen. Now, a note, if I shield or jump slash or spin attack, everything on my bottom screen will be grayed out, and I will not be able to use any of my items anymore. So I cannot do that. All right, look at the bottom screen real quick. Okay, thanks. And yeah, so that was collection delay. Very similar to what I did in Deku Tree, but I did it in a slightly different method. So right now I have the get item state, and so the game really wants to give me an item. So I just went up real close to that chest over there. That was the compass chest. So now if I surface in some water, I will get a mystery item. The only thing is I drained the water, so I have to clip out of bounds to find water to surface in. And hey, what's this? I think is what it said. Yeah, what's this?
What was that?
Oh, whoa, what's this? It's a mystery. Sorry about that. Can anyone guess what I got?
I'm not actually sure. All your fancy
there it is.
item list moved around. Oh, what was it? I missed it.
It's equipped.
I can't see it. It's too small.
Oh, is it too small? Okay.
Oh, is it long shot?
It's no, it's bombs.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I never got bombs. So. It's good. So I got bombs and bomb shoes in bottom of the well. So now I have both.
Nice. Dude, I'm watching it on a smaller screen than you guys, okay? I see like the bottom screen is super tiny for me, okay?
It's fine. We still appreciate you, Jay. It's good.
Thanks.
Yeah, just getting some rupees there.
Watching on an actual watching on an actual 3DS. An actual 3DS would be bigger than what I'm watching on.
I was about to say, yeah, you can actually, that'd be pretty counterproductive if you couldn't see it on an actual 3DS, because that's what this was played on. Are you watching it on a phone?
No, I'm watching it through OBS. Oh. I just have OBS not very big because of chat and stuff.
Okay. All right, so we're just hessing here. This is actually a pretty bad hess. It's not very optimized, but like I said, I kind of need to wait for night anyways, so we're just, yeah. We're zooming. Classic zoomer. So wait, is Link a boomer now? Is that?
I mean, this
I'm sure
game's,
this has been a
well,
discussion.
the original game is 20 years old at this point. I guess OT 3D Link isn't a boomer, but OOT Link is. I think that's how it
That's
works.
fine. Has your chat discussed this at some point? I imagine they have to have.
I'm not sure.
Like during the light medallion cutscene, like
Probably.
it shows adult Link and someone goes, "LOL."
There must have been sometime.
Like,
is Link a boomer?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm cashing in on meme trends right now that are going to be really bad and die out in like the next.
Oh yeah. For the people on YouTube watching this in 2 years, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I know how bad it is. Hey, I'm getting the big Goron sword here because unlike in N64 OOT, when you have something other than a sword on B, you can't get sword back unless you equip a different sword than you've already had equipped. So I get that just so that I can get a sword back.
Do you use it for any sort of combat?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Yeah, so it actually is going to end up saving around 40 seconds later in the run since I have it. But that's the main reason why RBA the Pocket Cucko. It's not necessarily for the purple gauntlets. It's for the wallet upgrade, which you'll notice I didn't get, and I'm still able to hold 200 rupees.
Wow, just walk right up to it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No setup.
I could have done some. So that was actually one of the last things I re-recorded that because I did the backflip setup, and then I was like, wait a minute. This is supposed to be optimized, and I re-recorded it to just walk right up to it because it's better.
Wow.
Yep.
Go off.
I mean, like a little bit. I'm allowed to be a bit of a show off. Like that's the whole point of it.
Of course.
Yeah, no, there was a splice there. Whoever just posted the splice emote, but I bet you didn't notice it. Does anyone think they've noticed any of the splices thus far? Because there's probably been a solid like 80 of them.
I don't think I have.
It. Smiley face. Oh, this is cool. I like this. Forgot about this.
Ooh, this trick is cool.
Yeah. See ya, Mito. I like that. Oh, I also like this. I like this too. I forget who made the setup. I saw a video of it, and I've just used it ever since. It's good. I like it. I like a lot of things about this. Yeah. It's just such a cute little jump. It's just like...
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, you guys do your fancy ground jumps and whatnot, but...
I think Glitchless does that strat, actually. Same strat.
It does. That's right. Whoever made that strat, yeah. They added that little cutscene there with the Moblin. And funny, if you damage him with a bomb chew as the cutscene is happening, your game actually soft locks.
That's pretty cool.
It took me a really long time to get that right there. So please appreciate it, because it took me like a half hour to get that cutscene skip without doing a setup for it. So it's cool. I like it. Oh, yeah, that's actually something I messed up. This is really dumb. I set Furor's Wind in bottom of the well because I thought for some reason I was going to need to reload it, and I don't actually need to. So I set Furor's Wind in bottom of the well when I was there, and then I just had to get rid of it here.
Nice.
Just a stupid little mistake that would have taken many hours to fix because my magic meter would have been all messed up. Like everything between bottom of the well now would have had to have been redone, and I'm like, ugh. So, whatever. Yeah, no, it's set up. Okay, it's intended. Yeah, so this is it. This is me waiting for night right now, or waiting for daytime. But lucky me, I actually need to do like one little thing. I can take some damage here. So thanks, Poe. Remember to love and appreciate your local Poes for hitting you with fire.
They're pretty nice.
I think I was looking to see if I could get a bomb drop from that tree. I don't know if that tree can give you bomb drops. But...
No, I think it's only rupees and hearts. I think there's other trees that can give you bomb drops. I think that tree specifically.
The one next to market entrance, like to the left of it.
Yeah, I think those types of trees and that other area, like past the river, with a bunch of trees, like those trees can give you bomb drops.
Oh, hey, look at that.
That's another death hole.
Okay, this is where things get really complicated. So I just did death hole, but what I'm about to do here is something known as death hole void warp, which is yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the loading zone for this grotto exit, and I'm going to use Furor's Wind at the same time. So what it's going to do is it's going to spawn me at the entrance for market, but I right now I have the coordinates for my Furor's Wind is going to have the coordinates of entering Kakariko Village because I did that. So yeah, so my map right now is market, but and now I'm going to do it again, right? I'm entering this loading zone. So right now I am taken to, I believe I have to think about this now. I'm taken to the map of Shadow Temple, but with the coordinates of entering Kakariko, which takes me to Shadow Temple, and it puts me right above the loading zone to the boss room. And so then I enter Shadow Temple boss room, which takes me to Water Temple boss room. So basically, I'm just messing with coordinates and stuff like that, and like doing wrong warps and doing fancy coordinates with it. Yeah, that's really complicated. I know I didn't explain it well, but yeah, it's hard. So I actually don't think it's possible to like pick Morpha up out of the water before it attacks you. I could be wrong. If it is possible, it's way harder than it is on N64. Basically, all you have to know is that when in Death Hole Wrong mode, leaving the market to go to like Hyrule Field takes you to Shadow Temple, and entering Shadow Temple boss room takes you to Morpha. And I did a bunch of wacky coordinate shit in between to put me in the right spots to actually enter those loading zones. So, yes. Has anyone ever died to Morpha in a speedrun?
No, that can't happen. Morpha's a pretty easy boss.
I think you're right. So I set Furor's Wind in this room, that's cool. I'm gonna do something a little flashy here. Cool.
Wow, walked right into it.
Into it. No setup. So because I'm in Death Hole, like restricted items like always works pretty much. So I don't have to do the 1-frame trick to do it, because just like if you have items equipped, they just like all of your items pretty much just work. And I'm setting Furor's Wind again because so basically what's happening is the game still kind of thinks that I'm in Shadow Temple boss room because that's the last loading zone that I entered. So when I leave Death Hole, the loading zone offset no longer applies. That was happening in Death Hole. So Furor's Wind takes me to where I'm actually supposed to go. And now I'm in the Bongo Bongo fight.
Oh man, that was quick.
That was
2 dungeons in a row.
Don't blink. So when I was talking earlier about chaining Deathful Rung Orbs together to do really wacky, some zany shenanigans, that's what I was talking about. But don't go anywhere, because it gets even better than this. That's the baby stuff. We haven't even done the cool stuff yet. Oh, you should be. Okay, don't laugh. I had hookshot in my hand, so I didn't. RI didn't work.
Cool.
Here it comes. I intentionally did this with the charge. That took me a really long time to make that look cool. And he's
nice.
Dead. That's not too hard, but it's also not free to get that one cycle.
Yeah,
so ISG,
no ISG, so no freebie fight.
ISG is actually impossible with current tricks in this room at this point, because there's no heart drops or anything to revive yourself with. So yeah.
Not that I think ISG would be a very good strat, even if it were possible, based on the circumstances it takes to set up.
Check this out.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so good.
So optimized.
So yeah, the position for that's really difficult. Like, you got to be right on the edge of the blue orb, and it's a frame perfect trick. So like RTA, you're gonna set that up. Like, but bro, this is a task. Hey, so that's Ocarina items. I believe that method does not work on version 1.0 of this game. Basically, if you have a bomb in your hands and you let it explode while you were walking, and then on like the last frame, the bomb is like still counted in your hands or something, you use a cutscene item like a bottle or like a spell or something. It pulls out the Ocarina, because it's like defaults to cutscene 0 or whatever, which is Ocarina. Hey, we're in the Forest Temple now. So it's good. And I'm going to use Fur's Wind. Okay, so we are about to get to the thing that kind of killed No Doors for this game. I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but I basically found the most powerful thing for No Doors. And it solved the last roadblock that we had. But the only thing is it made a lot of other things substantially faster. So the amount of variety in this run got cut down a little bit, because you're going to see what I'm doing here a couple more times, because it's too powerful. The good thing is that every time I do it, it's a little bit different. But this one's really cool. Also, don't laugh. I should have been hit by that guy one more time, and I'm going to lose a couple of seconds later for it. And I was going to go back and fix it, but I would have had to have redone something really difficult. And it's still cool anyways, so don't laugh. Look at all that magic. Cool item drop manipulation. Never Doors, that one took me like 3 hours. The people who were in a Discord call with me when I was doing it were probably so sick of listening to me. Yeah. So yeah, Never Doors has already seen this run. I sent it to him because he owed me recorded the intro. He's been, I've been in touch with him throughout the whole process. So he's seen this, and he can attest to the fact that one thing is very cool. Okay, so here we go. So this is a trick that I believe works on Ocarina of Time 2. This is, I think you do this for Shadow Temple early sometimes.
Yep.
Yep.
The hook shot jump.
This is insanely precise, what I'm about to do right here. So these little bits of collision do not exist on the original version of the game. But you can get on top of that, and you can do a Furor's Wind dive with it. And I set it up a little slow, though. They get faster as the run goes on, because I do a couple of them. So this is where I said I should have got hit by that guy one more time, because I kind of needed to die when I voided out there. So it wastes the amount of time that took the void there. But now that I'm dead, I can do a zombie side hop. All right, I need to explain everything there. So basically, what I did is I set my coordinates to leaving Goron City, going to Furrow's or Lost Woods. So my coordinates were I in the positives for like my X value or whatever for coordinate. And then I did that void warp with Furrow's Wind set in Lost Woods, or sorry, Forest Temple. So it took me to Forest Temple where I had Furrow's Wind set, but I have the coordinates of Lost Woods, like where my spawn was, and that puts me kind of out of bounds in the basement. But I have to do what is known as a zombie sidewalk to get back in bounds. So I need to be dead, and then you can do a sidewalk or a side hop, and then revive with the fairy, and so the big like circular spinning puzzle like mechanism in that room in the basement isn't loaded when the room's unloaded, so you can like clip kind of slightly out of bounds and then like make your way along the wall. And
yeah, that room has like a lot of missing walls because like the spinning thing is meant to act as the walls, and so when it's not there, you have like you can just walk straight out of bounds.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's not a huge space to walk, but it's there, and you can just get to the boss door like that.
Yep. Wouldn't it be faster to just open the boss door?
No, actually, I think that even ignoring the fact that it opens the door, I think it'd just be strictly slower.
I think
that sounds slow.
The boss door sounds really slow. I'd have to get the boss key, and
I think Forest Temple is probably the slowest boss door to open.
Check out those bombs. You see that? That was cool. I like that. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. This boss fight is really cool without ISG. You're about to see this, the second part here. So check this out.
Neat.
Cool. So you can kind of stop him in place, like low to the ground if you try to shoot like an arrow or the hook shot at him, and he'll kind of like his animation will kind of get stuck for a sec, and you have just enough time to hit him with a slash and stun him again. So you can stun lock him. That's really hard. Okay, so someone just asked again. I feel like we're kind of halfway-ish through. Spoilers like a little bit, but halfway-ish through. So this is probably a good time to explain. This isn't really a task per se. It uses save states and like recorded segments, and then it's all kind of spliced together in post editing to give it the appearance of like a single segment run. But everything was done in real time. There was no slow down or memory watch, just save states. That's the only tool that was used. And hey, that's fancy. You're gonna see a couple more of those. So yeah, this run is like not legitimate or anything like that. Like it's purely for entertainment value to kind of
purely an exhibition run.
Yeah, this is pretty much, even though there's been a lot of mistakes, like this is pretty much the most optimized form of a run like this that you could get right now with the current tools that 3DS speedrunning has. Like, you could have optimized it a little better than I did, but like the format is the most optimized format that you can really get right now. So it's cool. To my knowledge, I don't think anything like this has really been done before. I think, like, I know maybe Torge or something has like spliced together some of his best segments.
There's like some of best segment videos. That's probably like the closest closest thing to this.
I think besides that, like nothing like this has really been done before. So it's kind of it's a novel thing that you're watching right now. But okay, so I know you did like a human theory task. I forgot.
Yeah, that was more with actual task tools, but I guess it's kind of similar. I guess actually pretty much because that was still done in real time. So yeah, basically it's pretty similar to a human theory test, I guess.
I forgot that I had RBA'd away my dive meter there, but it didn't matter.
That was nice.
I just needed to wait for Navi anyway.
Am I allowed to laugh at that?
You're allowed to laugh at that one because it didn't actually lose time.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. So yeah, so yours was still done in real time. Did you not use frame advance for anything?
I think I may have for like some very specific stuff, but for the most part, it's
Okay.
basically all real time with save states.
Okay, yeah, so similar. You did not have to edit it the way that I did though, right?
I did, but only because of VC limitations. Like if I did on N64, I could do it all in one go, but VC couldn't save parts like it can't save in between resets. Like if I turn the console off and on, it's gone. So yeah.
Okay.
If I redid it now,
yeah.
I could.
Right. That's a cute little out of bounds right there. I like it.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. That does not exist in regular OOT.
No, that collision there is really funky. You can just kind of jump slash right there. Hey, I'm setting Faro's Wind in the Zora shop. Okay, so this is all beginning setup for one of the most complicated segments of the run, and this is kind of the thing I started with. We had 2 or 3 really big hurdles that hadn't been figured out by the time I kind of stuck my nose in the no doors, like, you know, when I was trying to figure out. That doesn't lose time, so you're allowed to laugh as well. There he goes. And this was kind of the first one I tackled, and so I'm beginning to do some of the setup for one of the dungeons that I will be beating next, I believe, but it's the setup is quite complicated. Sticking my nose in a door, that'd be really painful, actually. Don't do that.
Behind the shop counter.
Behind the counter, yep. Not stealing, though. I'm good.
Just paying the guy a visit.
Yeah, just being friendly. So now I am in the windmill. And this is actually the only reason I'm here.
This is the only way to get in here without opening a door.
I could get Song of Time.
Yeah, I guess Song of Time, yeah.
Wait, no, what's Song of Time? No, Song of Time is Odd Potion in this game. And we do not currently have a way to get the Odd Potion without opening a door.
Oh.
So currently, this is the only way. There's no way to clip through the Song of Time blocks in Dampé's Grave currently. So this is the only known method to get Song of Storms without opening a door. Also, I really like in my file select on the file select screen, I have like every other medallion except for light medallion. It screws that up.
No, this is not randomized. The loading zones may look like it's randomized, but that is actually glitches.
Yeah, so like there was always kind of the joke that because this glitch was known before like the beta quest ROM hack for this game was made. ROM hack I guess was made for this game. And so sometimes we joke around and we would call it beta quest because beta quest is like a real thing. I guess this technically is beta quest, like real beta quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm just saying it is. So it's like legit. This is what like beta quest is like based on. is the concept of what I'm doing. Ooh, this is really precise and cool, and I like it. But it took a really long time to get that.
Nice.
Yep.
I believe that door was actually the door that started No Doors.
That is the door that started No Doors. Yep, there's the open door. Some people found it. There's where it says open door.
This is where it all started.
This is the door that started it all back in like what 2011 or something, 2012.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, actually, that's really convenient that the door I said open on was the door.
Yeah, the scariest door.
I have no fast way to get out of that building once I get in, so I have to leave. I have to save warp. I could have played a warp song as well. But just getting a little love from the Redead there. We're gonna die a lot in this run if you hadn't noticed. I think we've already had quite a few.
Yeah, this stream has just been nothing but deaths.
I should explain that trick, I guess. That's the first instance of me doing a hookshot clip. So In this game, Link holds the hookshot, or like the collision for the hookshot like sticks out way further than it does in the original game. So you can kind of just like stick your arm through walls and just hookshot things.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I did one
wish-
earlier in Bottom of the Well, actually. You can just put your arm through like any wall, basically. Actually, I did 2 in Bottom of the Well. Yeah, you can just stick your arm through like any wall, but the corners are pretty easy to stick your arm through, and you can like aim further up and down if you do that, because you're kind of limited to aiming at the ground, like aiming lower than you most of the time.
Yeah, in regular OT you can sort of do it, but you can only do it if you're like almost entirely facing straight down. Like you can go maybe a little bit higher than straight down, and that's it.
Okay,
this game you guys can just do it anywhere.
Pretty much, yeah. This gets really complicated right here. I love this sequence that's about to happen here, but yeah. So I have Farore's Wind sets inside the house. I have it set inside the house, with Sleeping Talon, and right now I'm getting Bottle on B again for. I don't remember why I'm getting Bottle on B. Actually, yes, I think I do remember why. So I just got Bottle on B again. Now I'm just setting my equips because I'm going to play the Bolero of Fire. And that is going to take me to... It's going to take me to Hyrule Castle. Cool. So I'm here. But playing a warp song. So remember when I said earlier how the cutscene for entering the Temple of Time actually cancels Death Hole? So do warp song cutscenes. So if I was to enter a loading zone right now, it would take me to exactly where I want it to go, which sucks. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this grotto here, and I am going to do a Death Hole Wrong Warp while kind of sort of still in Death Hole Wrong Warp. So it's like a double Death Hole, so that I can keep myself in the Death Hole state. Since I kind of canceled it. Although the effects of it won't be apparent until I hit a loading zone. So we're layers deep right now. And so leaving this grotto is actually going to take me to the exact same place where I was, because I was in Death Hole, and now I'm still in Death Hole. And now I'm going to do a pretty cool trick. This is... I think we just call it a glitchless ground jump. Check bottom screen real quick.
Yeah, I think that's what people call it. Nice.
Yep. I may or may not have installed every single version of OT that exists onto my 3DS and put them on my home screen. It's like 10 different versions. Okay, so I did Ocarina items there to get fairy. This is really precise, and it scares me every time I watch it, not getting caught there. Okay, shoutouts to Pal. He's an OT 3D runner from Japan who figured out that this was possible. It's kind of precise. I like it. But you can just barely get up on this collision. And we can kind of walk around here. So it should be noted that right now my coordinates are set to getting thrown out of Castle Courtyard by the guards. So like right next to that box that you can see in the background. And that's important because the coordinates in Hyrule Castle, like the Y coordinates, it's really high up for some reason. So I can kind of just like, whoop, slide off there. So right now I have Farore's Wind set in House of Sleeping Talon in Kakariko Village, which when I death hole there takes me to somewhere kind of cool. But since I do a void warp, I have the super high Y coordinates of where I had in Hyrule Castle. So can you guess where I am?
I can hear where you are. This
But
sounds
do you
like
know
you're in a big fish.
specifically where I am?
Near the Jabu boss door somewhere.
No, I'm actually inside of the Jabu boss room.
Oh.
Yes. But I have room 0 loaded. So the room isn't actually loaded. Just the pre-boss room is loaded. So the Jabu boss room is actually really weird in that outside of the walls, there is a ton of collision, like floor collision, that you can walk on. So I'm actually walking around out of bounds on this collision, and I'm doing a mega flip right there to enter back into Jabu. And that loading zone takes me to King Dodongo.
That is very cool.
That is very cool.
I need to see if that collision is there in regular OOT. That's interesting.
It is, yes, because I use
Neat.
CNavi for just about everything, but it's not solid. There are a bunch of gaps in it. It's like these huge triangular pieces. There's like 6 of them. They make up like a hexagon, and there's gaps in between each of them.
Huh.
So you'll notice I kind of jumped across a few of them while doing that.
Wait, does that bomb go in his mouth without even doing anything? You just like hold it and it
Yeah.
automatically. Oh my god.
Like you literally feed him. It's great.
In regular OOT, you have to at least do a backflip or something.
Nope. He just eats right up. Which is why fighting him with bomb chews as an adult is actually really easy because you can just feed him the bomb chews.
Yeah, I was thinking because sometimes you have to fight with bomb chews in regular OOT for like low percent stuff. It's kind of tricky, kind of scary to do the backflip and time it right, but you guys just get it for free.
Yeah, he just eats it right out of our hands. He's a lot more docile in this game.
Hungry boy.
He's a very hungry boy. So normally we would be using it like this blue warp for a wrong warp or something, but because we're still in Death Hole, like this is a little bit wacky. So we're just actually going to watch the cutscene, and surprisingly, it actually does play the cutscene, even though we're still in wrong or Death Hole. Like I guess the loading zones and cutscene values and all that good stuff like lines up where the cutscene actually does play and it doesn't like crash or anything. So
I love how you've been doing all these crazy wrong warps, and then the one plays regular OOT wrong warps, you just kind of do it normally.
yeah. Yeah. I think this is the only cutscene that we end up watching for like a dungeon being beaten. So yeah, so I guess the cutscene takes priority over like Death Hole. But don't worry, because there's still some shenanigans. Also, it looks like he's not holding up the Goron Ruby, but he is. It's kind of, you can see it. It's kind of chilling in the back right corner.
Oh, I
just
see it.
Like a little bit. Yep.
It's on the
kind of
ground.
like in the ground. Yeah.
Someone go pick it up.
There he
Getting
is.
all dirty.
I don't really know why that happens. This cutscene's weird as adult. It's also really weird if you're wearing iron boots. It's really good if you're wearing iron boots. I don't have iron boots, but Link kind of like teleports a little bit. Here goes. And I like this right here. I like this. Oof.
Cool.
Yep. And this actually is kind of really dumb because remember how I said earlier how Market is like a hub for wrong warps? Well, like leaving to go to Market actually takes you to Market, even though I'm still in Death Hole. But since we don't have Ferora's Wind set anywhere, we can't really like do any wrong warp chaining with it. So we just have to like die and go set up the next dungeon we're gonna do. Okay. So we're setting Ferora's Wind in Temple's time. And where are we going? Oh, I know what's happening next. Yes. So I actually haven't watched this or like worked with any of the gameplay portions of it in maybe like a month or two because I've been like editing it, which took a really long time to get all the edits perfect, and working on like the trailer and the intro and stuff like that. So my memory on like what happens in what order is like a little shaky, but Also, I work like 70 hours every week because I'm an idiot. So yeah. I like my job, so I'm kind of kidding. Check out this manipulation. Very good. I do dirt. I do dirt. Hey, anyways, remember how I said that we do district a lot because it's very powerful? It's very powerful. So we have Farore's Wind set in Temple of Time, and our coordinates are like our spawn point is set to entering Lost Woods from Kokiri Forest, and the coordinates for that I think are almost like 000, like it's very close to it. And so I will return to the map of Farore's Wind with the coordinates of my spawn, which puts me like kind of right next to the Master Sword. So that's cool. So there's Sheik again. No, so all of the map coordinates are pretty much exactly the same, like as far as like where load zones are.
Yeah, unless they modified some part of the map itself, then coordinates are basically the same.
I think loading zones are all placed in the exact same spot, like literally the exact same spot. I don't think those were changed at all. So spawn points are the same. So that's also really close to 000 on N64.
Yeah, you can also avoid warp here on N64. It was actually an idea for like adult dot skip with bottle on B for a while, but it was just you can actually do it. It's just so much setup time.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. But
it was an old idea for like a good N64 100% route, but times have changed now.
Okay, so I have Deku Stick on B right now, so I'm gonna dupe over it real quick. Just get rid of it. Get bottle on B. And I'm gonna put the Master Sword down. Yeah, so those weren't dupe swords. Those were actually Deku Sticks. But when I hold them in my hand, they look like a Hylian shield. But then when I break them, they look like the Giant's Knife. But they're actually Deku Sticks, so... Hey, remember how I had to go get Zora's letter? Or Rita's letter? It's because I'm going to use it for Bottle Adventure.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. So Rita's letter links to Deku Nut amount or ammo. So I don't remember how many Deku Nuts I had. What dungeon am I doing next? Oh, I know what I got. Yeah, I know what I got. So I have something on my B button right now. So Bottle Adventure basically... How would you explain it? It's hard.
It takes the value of whatever... Well, on original, it's on C, right? I think in this game, what is it? It's the 2 button?
It's the 2 button, which I had Rita's letter. So
yeah, so it takes whatever... It takes the value that item is pointing to. Sometimes it's itself, or sometimes it's another item value in the case of bottled items. And
in this case, it's the amount of Deku Nuts that I had.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll put the item of that value on Link's B button.
Right.
And so, however many nuts Ben had when going forward in time, that item value is going to be on B. In OOT 3D, it does not update that B button. It just kind of shows the sword still. So I guess it's a mystery.
It is a mystery, and you actually won't find out for a little bit because the setup for this next dungeon is also quite extensive. Hey, look, it's that cool little hookshot jump again.
Oh, I think I might know what it is.
We're doing it for something different this time, though. So I don't have a sword right now, so that triple slash Navi dive that I was doing earlier, I can't do it. There is another version that requires like a really precise. I didn't have a setup for it, and it would have taken me like a really long time to find one because the setup as child took me hours and hours and hours to find. So I did that. It probably wasted like 2 seconds, but it's also kind of cooler. So
Quick question: when you did that
yes,
mega flip to get out of bounds there to skip the loading trigger, if you
yeah,
went back in there, would it crash on this game?
no,
Because it always crashes in regular OOT, even though it doesn't seem like it's loading that much.
no. You can load a whole bunch of those skull kids.
That is
You
very
can
interesting.
make a lot of them, and it starts to lag really really bad. But it's cool, and I like
Yeah,
it.
that's strange, because in OOT, no matter what version you're on, one double load and it crashes. You can't
The
double load every
way
area at all.
the way that loading like an area multiple times works in this game is different than on N64. It's strange.
Oh,
Hey, this ledge
interesting.
flip is really cute. I like it. I'm also really slow at it. You have to like let go of the ledge at like a really specific time to like not be back in bounds there. Oh, this is good. I hope you like this.
Oh, entering Jabu as adult. Type trick.
Whee! There he goes. Uh so remember I said all the loading zones were like in the exact same spot? They actually moved that one. They moved Jabu's loading zone because they wanted to fix being able to jump slash on top of Jabu to get in as child. The downside is that on the adult
Now
map,
you
the
can
loading
get in
zone,
as adult.
it's in the same spot, so they moved it to a place where you can like really easily just walk right into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, some of the fixes they did in this game to like remove glitches from the original ended up backfiring and resulted in better glitches in this.
I haven't even talked about Grezzo, the company who's licensed to make this game. They did a lot of really weird like band-aid patches where they didn't really fix the glitch. They kind of just, it's like a gaping wound, and they just put a little band-aid on it, and they're like, that'll fix it.
Broken arm, here's a band-aid.
Yeah, that's probably a better example. And my favorite one is they didn't want you getting into bottom of the well as child without learning the Song of Storms. There's many ways to do that, by the way. They didn't fix it very well, spoilers. So they put a big rock in front of the loading zone. But because I think they knew about the method where you could anger a cuckoo and backflip into the well, like during that little cutscene. And there's only cuckoos in Kakariko Village during the daytime. So they put a big rock in front of the loading zone. But it's only there during the day. The rock has a family. It's got to go home at night to feed its kids. And the big rock isn't there anymore.
Yeah, there's
so
some fantastic glitch fixes in this game.
Okay, we're going to do something pretty wacky here. We got the odd mushroom, and we're going to do some cool stuff with it.
Oh yeah, the damp next time you get a chance to talk about it, you got to talk about the damp HP.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a time in a second. Okay, so we kind of need a horse. And since there isn't really any easily accessible ISG stuff in this game, we're going to do this, and it's cool. Kind of just doing some acrobatics on those fences. And now we have horse. There he is. Or she, I guess the opponent is a girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is. Cool. And yeah, it's good. N64 can do it faster, but we can do it cooler. So
yeah, that was definitely pretty cool. I like it.
Get owned, kid. I like it too. So the reason we need opponent here is spoilers. Okay. When a timer expires for a trade item, right? So like the odd mushroom that I have right now, it actually will set whatever was on the B button. If it wasn't a sword, it'll return it to what is known as the temporary B value. So right now I have an item that is not the sword on my B button. And so if I let that timer expire, it's going to put, I think, a Deku stick on B, because that's just like the default like 0 value. But getting on Epona actually sets temp B, so to what you currently have. So the item that I have on B is now my temp B value. But if I grab a ledge or like climb a ladder or something like that, I forget all the stuff that you can't do, but there's a couple of things that I can't do right now, or else my temp B will get set back to default. So that's why I need Epona there. It's not actually faster to ride her around. I just need to set that value. But I think getting across the Gerudo Valley would actually be quite difficult without her. So it's kind of good we have her, because we don't have hover boots or anything. Hey, it's another one of these.
I love these jumps.
They're cute. You're going to see a couple more of them. Yeah, it's really easy to do hookshot jumps like that go way higher in this game if you have any boot item like cover boots or iron boots, but we don't have any of those, so you can just do those cute little ones right there.
Yeah, it also looks like those are faster than regular OT, because it looks like you only have to wait one extra cycle.
You do, and if
yeah,
you get the right angle, it's not even a frame perfect input. They just do it for you.
Nice.
So that one right there, I had like it's a pretty big window, like for like the angle. So I'm doing like a weird shield swipe thing here where I'm shield swiping over Ocarina, but since Ocarina is like its own button, it actually just like dupes over like a garbage spot in memory that's just 0, so it actually just dupes over Deku sticks, because I want 2 fairies, but I also want to still have bugs. I think I didn't quite have enough time here. I probably could have made it, but I wanted to be safe, so I kind of just paused the timer with trade item for like a sec there. I just wanted to be safe, so a little unoptimized, but it's cool. And hey, that's a box, and that's a hook shot, and that's the sun, I guess. And yeah. So what that did is that took me back to Lost Woods, because it's trying to take me back there because of the odd mushroom. But it set the coordinates of the last entrance that I had in Gerudo Fortress, which is like that upper room. So right now my coordinates are like way, like not very close to 0, 0, 0. Because remember I said 0, 0, 0 is kind of like the front of Lost Woods. So my coordinates are like way in the back. Right? And hey, this ladder again. You might want to like actually pay attention to all the things that I'm doing here, because they might be harder to pay attention to later in the run. Wink, wink. But yeah, here's this again. This is very busted. So combining this void warp with an odd mushroom void warp is like super busted, because we can pretty much get the room number and coordinates of like any room in the game that doesn't require opening a door.
That's basically any of the Lost Woods rooms, right?
Yeah, because Lost Woods has like a ton of rooms.
Yeah, wow.
So we can just like do so many coordinates and room numbers with it. So that was Void Warp. Since I still had Froze when set in Jabu Jabu, it took me to Jabu Jabu, but with the coordinates of leaving like the top room in Gerudo Fortress, and that takes me here and instantly dead. Just
scary intro cutscene.
Good try, Link. You did your best. Hey, that item I had on the beep button, it's the boomerang. There it is. So I actually make a bit of a mistake here. I throw too many Deku Nuts, and I'll have to fix that a bit later. It only wastes maybe like 2 seconds in the grand scheme
Pot
of things.
strat, the best strat for Baronade.
Yeah, so I don't. The hammer doesn't damage Baronade, so I just have to like throw pots.
Yeah, without a sword, this is all you can do to damage Baronade.
I'm gonna set Furor's Wind in here. That's important. You got to remember that. There goes. So for some reason, I don't even really know myself how this ended up working. But normally you can do this last hit. You can just like equip your sword item. But it wouldn't let me equip my sword here. I don't know why that's the case. So I just threw another pot. I never figured out why.
Huh.
That's good. I kind of thought I was in the blue orb, but I wasn't. So I wasted a little bit of time there. But and I also threw one too many Deku Nuts, which I'm mad about. So don't laugh.
I don't think chat's mad about it.
Could you take a seat right over there?
Good cutscene.
Yeah. Just take a seat right over there. Oh yeah, so this is really weird. So if you get, remember I was talking about like frame perfect text boxes here. If on the first 3 text boxes that Ruto gives you, if you get frame perfect text, she'll actually start her animation of like swimming away like before all of her text is done, and it saves like a couple seconds. But for some reason, and I swear I tried this for a good hour, I could not get all the text boxes. I think there's like something different going on as adult or like with my specific file. I have no idea, but I couldn't get it. And it's only 3 text boxes. So, and I tried for like an hour. I just could not get it. So that's like a weird thing. I don't know what was going on with that. It's legal in Zora's domain. Oh no. Oh no. So yeah, we're just gonna take some damage here. Oh no. The timer's going down.
Don't die.
Link. Watch out, Link. Oh no, he's got AirPods in. Link. Oh no, he died. So remember, I had Furor's Wind set in the Baronade boss room. That's important because I'm going to return to it right now, and that takes me to. Hey, look at that!
That's another boss.
Yep, there's a boss. And another meme for future cringe. Yep. I'm just doing it intentionally now. It's self-aware at this point. So I'd like to divert everyone's attention to Valvagia's arms during this cutscene. Check them out. They're
Nice.
just like they're just like
Is that
so
is that a
weird.
side effect of wrong warping here?
No,
From
he
Defo?
always looks like that. Always looks like that.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
They're just weird. All right, so I'm getting Ocarina items there to fix my my bottom screen. For some reason, if you jump slash with the hammer, I know I said earlier that if you jump slash, it'll gray out all of your items on the bottom and you won't be able to use them. But if you jump slash with the hammer or deku stick, that doesn't happen. So I guess it's only sword. I'm not sure why. It's gonna take a little bit of damage there. I didn't have enough explosives to do this all with bombs, so I had one flying segment. But it was still pretty fast. Oh, yes, that's another thing. When you're in Death Hole, certain UI elements like don't load in properly, so the timer doesn't actually load in Death Hole. So I don't have to worry about dying from the heat.
Oh, that blue warp loads like instantly in this.
It does. It does. Yeah. So actually, I forgot. I do end up watching this cutscene. So, but it doesn't. Well, you'll see. I mean, it's not actually that exciting, but you kind of just like.
I don't see actually.
No, and you won't. But you can hear.
I can.
Whoops. So what happens there is you're actually like in the Chamber of Sages, like during I think it's the Rauru cutscene, like the Light Medallion cutscene. And so like Raru's standing there, and if you throw a Deku Nut, you can actually like light up the scene and like walk around and see what's going on. But you couldn't see it, but I pulled a bomb there and death warped to get back to Temple of Time. So yeah, you can chill with Rauru in the Chamber of Sages. It's no big deal, you know. We're tight. We hang out. Where are we going now? We're going to Lost Woods.
Oh yeah. Do we have some time to explain the Dampe thing? I don't know if this is coming up.
Oh yeah, important. No, we're about to see that Lost Woods Void Warp again. So I think everyone's getting sick of that.
Okay, yeah.
In Ocarina of Time 3D, right? This is another one of those like broken arm band-aid fixes that Grezzo did again. So it's very, very good. On N64, there is an oversight, a glitch where if you get the heart piece from Dampe from the heart pounding grave digging game, and you don't pick up the heart piece, I don't know why you'd ever do that, but if you don't pick up the heart piece and you leave the area, you will never be able to get that heart piece ever again. It's gone, and he will never dig it up again because you didn't pick it up. You're an idiot. You didn't get it. But in this game, they fixed it. So if you leave, he will give you the heart piece again. The catch, even if you do pick up the heart piece and leave, he will still give it to you again, infinitely. So there are a lot of heart pieces buried in the graveyard. And he keeps digging them up, so you can get an infinite amount of heart pieces from Dampe. It's fixed. Don't worry, it's good.
Yeah, they intended to do that. If you want infinite heart pieces, then you only have one source, and it's Dampe. They just thought no one would ever want to do this.
So you can get them all. So I think a couple of guys in the OT3D community, every Valentine's Day, they do a race where they get 20 hearts from Dampe, and it takes like anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, and it's terrible. And they keep saying they want to make you do it, CFG, but I say, as much as I dislike CFG, that's too bad even for him.
I can't do that. I'm sorry.
No, it's so bad. I've never done it. It's terrible. Hey, they added a thing where you can sleep in your bed in this version, and it refills your magic. So that's cool.
Wait, does it refill magic but not health?
Or no, it refills both.
Okay.
So I need some magic, so hey, sleeping in the bed. This segment coming up is one of my favorites. It also took me a really long time to do. I like it. So yeah, Danpei is totally busted. But guess what? They actually, like, for real, they for real fixed it in the Chinese and Korean versions of this game that came out about a year later in like 2012. This game came out in 2011. So for real, it was fixed.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
Along with a couple of other really weird things. So they fixed restricted items in those versions. Which isn't that weird. I mean, that was like a huge oversight. I don't know how they let that one slip through the cracks. But they also tried to fix triple slash clip to escape forest, like Kokiri Forest. But the only way that they do it is by like turning your camera like a little bit so that you talk to the Kokiri guard instead of putting away your sword. But you can just like you can manipulate the camera to like not do that, and B, wait, I'll explain that in a second. Check this out. This is awesome. I love this so much. Okay, so what I did there is I got a heart, and then I put down a bomb, and I got broken Deku Stick, which is like a trick where you can break off the end of a Deku Stick, and then I got ISG. But the thing is broken Deku Stick does not have an animation for putting it away, which means that since there's no animation, you can put it away without losing ISG, which means that you are able to climb those vines. And now I'm going to ascend once again. We're going up. And side hop.
That's very cool.
And now we are in the Goma boss room. So that's another invisible seam. And that one goes high enough to actually clip you right to the ceiling. And you can just side hop right into the loading zone. And it's very cool. And I like it.
Oh, you can use the gyro camera to start the cutscene?
Yes, you can. It's a
oh
little
my
bit
god,
fast.
that's actually super cool.
It's sick. I like it. So once again, I guess I'll explain that someone said, hey, you went through a door, because I guess the door that closes behind Goma. But as stated earlier, those doors are not included in the definition because
those
Link
are
does
not doors.
Physically...
You don't press A to open the door.
Right. Oh, check this out. Right in there. Yeah,
so
you don't
optimal.
press A to open the door. Link does not physically interact with the door, and he does not control the event of the door opening or closing. Technically, I didn't open the door either. It closed. So
yeah, it closed behind Link. What's he gonna do about that?
Right. So it's not, that door is not included in the definition of what a door is or what opening a door is. I like it's just kind of negative door because it closed, didn't open. Oh yeah, that was a wrong warp. I forgot to say that actually works on N64 like the same way.
Yeah,
it's just
that exact same wrong warp is used in Hundo.
Oh well, cool. There you go. That's right. You use that now. I'm kind of out of touch with N64 100%. But yeah, that it's like the same wrong warp. And so yeah, now I'm here. This is cool. So before, we kind of had a revelation about a part in the run that is yet to come. As you'll notice, I only have one dungeon left to do. So I guess it's not really that big of a shocker. But before, we had kind of a revelation about how we were going to complete Spirit Temple. This wrong warp is just used right now to get the Mirror Shield. That's the only reason we do it. And I was thinking that the only possible way to be able to do this was going to be doing a Gwei hover from the Heart Piece platform all the way to the statue, which I did with save states to test if it would even work. And you can do it. It just would have taken like 5 to 10 minutes. So yeah, That's cool that it's not in, but also it would have been really cool if it was in, just like in a really sadistic, like masoch.
Cool in concept, awful in execution and watching.
Yeah. Yep, terrible, terrible. I would have like probably written a poem or something and read it during that part if I had to do. We're just gonna get the Requiem real quick. Have you watched another Lotad with the Quay hover in it? I can't.
A few, unfortunately.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It's a staple of low pause all dungeons, I think.
Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't have to subject anyone to that today, because that would have.
Yeah, I've watched that enough.
So is this RT or is this Lotad? So everything in this run was done in real time, but there was safe stating. That has all been edited out to give it the appearance of a solid, fluid, single segment speedrun. So it's sliced, spliced, banned. Yep. I don't know. I feel like what this is doesn't really. I'd say the closest thing to it is a Lotad, but I don't even know if it really like fits that super well. I feel like there needs to be like a new term for it, but
I would just call it like an exhibition run.
sure, we can go with that. But I think a segmented speedrun, like a lot of people are saying segmented. I feel like a segmented speedrun
it's not quite segmented.
kind of implies that like you save and quit the game.
Yeah.
And then like those are the segments. So that's like kind of already a thing. Although I would say that's a pretty good description. That already kind of exists and it's kind of different. This trick is pretty cool actually. So I entered this grotto here, right? And then I set Furor's Wind. Normally, if you set Furor's Wind in a grotto, what it does is it sets it to like where you last were, like your last like loading zone outside of the grotto. But since I was in Lakeside Lab, that actually has like a dedicated loading zone tied to it. So Furor's Wind is like set in Lakeside Lab right now. So I guess if I return Furor's Wind here, right, and the fact that I played Prelude right there is actually really important. So what's going to happen here is right now I'm inside of a grotto. I'm inside of the standard grotto because I death hold into it and set Furor's Wind left and all that stuff. But the thing is that I entered this grotto without actually using a grotto loading zone entrance. And so normally how grottos work is when you leave a grotto, it just takes you to the entrance of the last grotto you entered. But I haven't actually entered a grotto since like, starting a file. So where it's going to take me is a little goofy. And that is right here. It took me to coordinates 0, 0, 0, but with the last warp song fade in, I did, because those kind of share the same properties of grotto loading zones. Cool little door time skip.
Interesting.
Yep, that is possible on N64, but the setup for it is much more complicated. Okay, so only one more dungeon to do. But before that, I actually have to go do something else real quick, which is kind of slow and annoying, and I wish we didn't have to do it, but it must be done. Oh yeah, that's called Grotto Alt Exit, Alternate Exit Grotto. So if you're curious about it and you want to see how it's done on N64, I believe Exodus has a video, so type that into ye old Google search bar and take a look. Um. So spoilers. The setup for Spirit Temple is intense. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. Spirit Temple is difficult because the boss that we need to beat is not in the first room of Spirit Temple boss, right? Because that's where the Naboru knuckle fight happens.
Yeah, she's
we need to
behind
get
2 doors.
She's behind 2 doors, which normally we can just, clip behind the boss door, and then we're in the boss fight. But we have 2 other doors that we need to get past. So loading the 3rd room, or room 02, is, you got to jump through a lot of hoops to be able to do that. And I mean, obviously it's possible because this run is a thing and it's happening. But yeah. So these were the last 2 doors that needed to be solved for both All Dungeons No Doors tasks. They're notoriously difficult doors to skip. We're gonna make it happen. Watching this cutscene is actually kind of unrelated to the setup of Spirit Temple. This is for something else, but we do need to watch this cutscene. So slow, but you got to do it. It's good. It's good. But yeah, the Spirit Temple, the Twin Rova doors in the boss room were the last thing that we needed to skip, and it's gonna get real complicated here in a sec. But I guess not actually that complicated. I feel like the stuff that's gonna happen for this next dungeon is actually pretty easy to understand. It's just a lot of pieces to the puzzle that all kind of line up. And it's probably my favorite segment of the run, because there's so much going on. But yeah, we're just, Nocturne of Shadow. So Shadow Temple is not necessarily the last official dungeon before Ganon. Spirit Temple and Shadow Temple are like interchangeable, so you can do either one first.
Yeah, Spirit Temple is a dungeon that you can do basically any time after Forest Temple, but Shadow Temple requires the first 3 dungeons beaten. So like neither of them require the other one, so they are just interchangeable.
Yeah, I think you can pretty much do. I guess you either need the hover boots or the long shot to to get past the
so you may need to enter Water Temple, but you don't need to beat Water Temple.
Yep. And I think you can do Water Temple at any point, right? So Spirit Temple glitchless can be the first dungeon that you do.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need to do, you just need to beat Forest Temple so you can go back in time, since back in time obviously is required for Spirit Temple glitchless, but...
Oh, right.
Other than that, yeah, you can essentially do Spirit Temple as your second dungeon beaten, even glitchless.
So I set Feroz Wind in Spirit Temple. And hey, I'm going back to Lost Woods. Guess what I'm doing? Probably not what you'd expect. But also maybe sort of possibly what you expect. Just not totally exactly what you expected.
I think I've seen this part before. I think I'm getting deja vu.
Maybe. So you maybe thought that we were going to go right there, but guess what? We're going left. We're getting the odd mushroom again. And going to Hyrule Field. And now guess where we're gonna go. I mean, it's not that big of a surprise, but yeah. Oh, I should also mention that when we were going to get the Mirror Shield as a child, we also did Bottle Adventure. Again, I didn't point that out. But yeah, we did Bottle Adventure. So I have something on the B button that is not the Master Sword right now. And that'll actually be important here in a second. Yeah, nice backflips. Don't laugh, please. Please don't laugh. So the reason I'm back walking here instead of doing like a Hess or something is because I don't have many bombs left. And spoilers, I kind of need to wait for this timer anyways. So that's just what I'm up to. A lot of spoilers in this run. What can you do? You hate to see it. And we're moving. Yeah, sorry. This part of the run is kind of a lot of setup, so it is what it is.
Just traveling around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Someone noticed it. Long shot, right?
Oh, that's cool. Oh, so the long shot was just needed to get over Gerudo Valley?
No.
Or more
That's
than
not
that?
what it was needed for. More than that. Mm-hmm. That's just an added benefit. Just an added benefit. And bonk. Very cool. So I kind of have to get a roundabout way to get into this room because, as I was saying earlier, climbing like ledges or climbing vines and stuff like that was going to cancel that temporary V value that I have. So that's why I got on top of Epona. And now I'm in this room, which is room 05, I believe. That's important. That is a non-trivial piece of information. And I'm clipping out of bounds. And there he goes. Okay. Now, remember that Void Warp that I did like 3 times, 4 times in Lost Woods? Well, I hope you remembered it because this one's a little more difficult to see. I have no idea how that worked.
Yeah, that looked very scary. This whole thing looks kind of scary.
That took me like 3 hours, so. There he goes.
It's the room.
Hey, now I'm in Spirit Temple. Again, but I'm not where you would think I am. So you can see what room is loaded in the background right there. It's the big main statue.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So there it is. Right now, just to give you a little hint, I'm actually in the first room, but I'm on the adult side, like where the BMOS is. I'm standing pretty close to where the BMOS would be, like behind the big silver block. So that's where I'm at. But I need to leave. And, so this is actually I think this is the biggest mistake that I made in the entire run is before I went to go get the Nocturne of Shadow, I should have caught fairies here, and I didn't. And it was still faster to come back here and get fairies from here, since I could get 2 while playing Zelda's Lullaby once. So that wasted like 30 or 40 seconds. Or probably not that much, but yeah, it was a dumb mistake, and it was really bad, and I regret it. But by the time I realized it, I was like, I had done that really difficult segment with the the void warp with the invisible collision that took me like 3 hours, and I'm like, I am not doing that again. So, hey, there's a grotto there.
Is that the only thing Song of Storms was necessary for?
No, the only thing that Song of Storms was necessary for was the grotto in Hyrule Castle.
Okay.
When I did the double Death Hole Wrong Warp. Yeah. All the other times I've used it 2 other times. I used it in Gerudo Fortress to get some fairies, and I used it there just because it's actually a really fast Death Hole like spot. Yeah. So the invisible void warp thing that I did, I'll explain that in a second. But here I am doing. This is why I need long. So I'm doing hookshot clips here, but clearly you can't see. It's a good thing that like the aiming reticle like shows the little dot at the end of it, because it's really helpful. And we also need long shot for that. That is a really precise shot. That is not. So hey, now I'm in this room. I really like this part coming up. I mean, I like all of this part, but. Whee! So that was a hookshot jump using a death, and that actually put me through the ceiling. So now I'm in the mirror room, and the room actually loads when you stand on top of that platform. Okay. And now I'm going to... Oh, and I'm going to explain this later, but all of these things that I'm doing right now, I'm in Death Hole mode right now, but I could have done them all not in Death Hole, except for something coming up here in a second. Right there, I did another animation storage, or whatever it's called, hookshot jump to get into this room. That's actually incredibly precise. You barely have enough height, and that ceiling is barely sloped enough for you to clip out on it. And the fact that it works is incredible. And I move the mirrors without opening any doors so that I can lower this platform. It's good. And hey, there's a gold Skulltula over there, and I'm going to kill it because I hate arachnids. Okay, so this is the reason why I need to be in Death Hole right now. It's because normally when this text box is opened, you can't use any items. But since I'm in Death Hole, I always have restricted items active. And so I can use the hookshot there and do a hookshot jump with the Skulltula text, clip through the ceiling, get into the boss room, and here I am.
That was a lot. That was really cool.
That was a lot. It's very cool. And the other thing that's really important is I'm still in Death Hole right now. But conveniently, that loading zone still takes me to Twin River boss room. And then this cutscene actually cancels Death Hole. Because some cutscenes do that. And this cutscene actually cancels it. So that's really good. So if I reload this room, like the effects of it will be totally gone, and I'll be able to use all of my items again normally and whatnot. So I'm going to reload the room. You'll notice that the door in the front of the room is also not loaded because this room's kind of messed up. Yeah, so as I was saying, that segment has a lot of moving parts to it, and it took us a really long time to figure that stuff out. Okay, so I use the Boru Knuckle to clip out of bounds there. And all of that was done just so that I could set Farore's Wind in this room. And now I'm going to get axed in the face. So good. This is not a test now. All of this was done in real time. With save states, but in real time. Hey, we're back here.
Does this mean what I think it means?
Well, it can only mean one of two things, probably. So it's your guess as to which it means. Is it RTA viable? Maybe. I wouldn't want to do it, that's for sure. It would be very difficult.
Seems like very difficult, but technically yes.
Technically, yes. I want to say all of the void warps in Lost Woods. I would not want to even do one of them without save states, because they're all very, very... Getting on top of that tree branch with the bomb shoe, very hard. Doing it blind... Oh, that's the other thing. I didn't have to do that part blind. I could have loaded the room with the bridge. But I didn't need to. Okay, this is really important. You've got to do this. And you've got to do all of this exactly the way that I'm doing it. And the reason why is because you just have to. Okay? So trust me. Just trust me. Okay. This is honestly so complicated, I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm just... So the way I'm moving here is... Listen, okay, you got to do it. Especially this part. Very important.
Is this building up speed?
Yeah, we're building up speed right now for 12 hours. Okay. All right. That was close. That was close. That was a little scary. Okay. Okay, don't laugh.
Uh-oh.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I think I can save this. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay, don't laugh.
Dude. No.
Don't
You
laugh.
keep messing up, dude. Dude, the trick isn't gonna work now.
Don't laugh. I think I can save it. Okay. Don't laugh. Okay. I'm doing it. I'm vibrating. There we go. All right. All right. All right. That was close. That was close. Okay. He's still... All right. All right. I think it looks like I'll be able to save this.
Oh, just in time.
Okay, yeah, oh. Okay. Plenty of time left. Okay, so all of that I did right there was so that I could get into this spot at exactly the right time, which I believe is 7 seconds on the timer. So it's a really good thing that I was able to do all of those things perfectly and make it here with just enough time to spare.
Yeah, I think like one more mistake and you would have missed it.
I think so.
That would have been a shame.
So we did it. We did it. Oh, sorry, 6 seconds. My bad. Okay. So it technically would have been faster to do this thing blind again, but it only takes about like 5-ish seconds to load the area. So I wasn't gonna do it blind again. I did it once. I figured that was enough, and I really didn't want to do it again. So here we are, and wow, this is familiar, I think. Again, this trick is just too powerful. It's so powerful. Last bomb chew. There he goes.
And Frora's Wind is still set in Twinrova's room, right?
Yes. Frora's Wind is set in Twinrova's room.
And here we go.
My
Void Warp.
coordinates are entering Goron City from Lost Woods.
And that loads room 02, the room of Twinrova.
That room loads room 02, which is the Goron City like main room. That's why I had to do all that stuff. Just so that I could... Oh, I'm sorry, from Goron Shop. That was from Goron Shop. Yes, absolutely correct. Yep. Oh, right. It's room 03, not 02. Not 02. It's 03.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Room 00 is like that. The room before the boss room kind of thing. Out of bounds.
The pre-boss room.
Yeah.
Okay, so Twinrova. It's cool. So yeah, that I think we were doing maybe like a month or two, or I was doing like a month or two of like really heavy like sciencing research stuff to really pull no doors together, and that segment was most of that time was just all the stuff that I've been doing thus far to get into this fight. It was a lot. The double. I did work to manipulate a couple of doubles here because it's good. So one thing I never mentioned is that power cross stabbing does not work in Ocarina of Time 3D. So getting a one cycle here with power cross stab is not possible. However, you can get a one cycle if you have the big Goron sword or the giant's knife. It's just the problem with the giant's knife is that if you are too close to Twinrova, when you jump slash, the sword will actually break. So I have to walk away from her every time I do a jump slash to get that one cycle.
Oh, is it because of like when the landing hitbox like hits her multiple times?
It's because of the same reason that like remember how I did B1 skip with the Deku stick?
Yeah.
Right. So that actually, when you do that method, you actually get broken Deku stick from it because like the tip of the Deku stick like hits the wall behind you, and so if you jump slash and Big Goron sword's like the same way. It's like the hitbox goes behind your head. So if you jump slash too close, you'll actually kind of clip inside Twinrova's hitbox a little bit, and the back of the sword that's like behind your head will actually clip Twinrova, and it'll break off.
Oh wow.
Yep. And there we go. And hey, we're back here. And dead.
Rip.
I really like that.
Can beat all the bosses. Can't beat that Iron Knuckle.
Can't beat the Iron Knuckles. Too hard. Too spoopy for me. I'm sorry. Was it 3 spoopy 5 me? Is that what it is? Is
something like that?
2013, 2014 humor. We're going back.
We're just gonna progressively get older and older memes.
Yeah. They're gonna get cringier and cringier as we go. Okay. That was a little sloppy right there. I don't really know why I did. So yeah, we beat all of the dungeons. So that means there's only one thing left to do, which is beat the game. So another death hole. Very cool. Cow. So this is why we had to go out of our way to get the Nocturne of Shadow. Because if you're in Death Hole mode and you play the Nocturne of Shadow, it takes you right here. So there we go.
That's extremely convenient.
It is extremely convenient. The other extremely convenient thing about it is that, as I said before, warp songs cancel Death Hole mode. So if you didn't cancel Death Hole and you entered that loading zone, it would, I believe, take you to the Ganon fight arena, but the screen would be totally black and you wouldn't be able to see anything, and you wouldn't be able to start the fight, and you wouldn't be able to beat the game. So the fact that Nocturne of Shadow cancels Death Hole and makes that loading zone work normally.
Do all warp songs cancel Death Hole or only some?
All of them do, yes.
Okay.
Because of the warping away cutscene. Certain cutscenes cancel it.
Okay.
And the cutscene of the little ball of light, like, going out and coming in, cancel. So, like, incredibly convenient that works. Like, right there. It's honestly kind of amazing. Oh yeah, but some of they still take you to a wacky location, like all of the warp songs in Death Hole. But most of them crash the game, I think. So,
Oh, that's cool.
or I guess half of them, right? Because Nocturne, Bolero, and I think Requiem all take you somewhere, but Prelude, Minuet, and Serenade all crash, I think. So yeah, doesn't really good if you cancel. Doesn't do you any good if you cancel Death Hole if the game crashes. So. Dude, look at all those dogs.
Francozy.
That's a lot of dogs. As a note, it is possible to skip losing the Master Sword here on 3DS, but it requires Dinfire. You can't do like a traditional Super Slide. So we're just gonna have to do the first phase normally without the extra damage. So, oh well. I decided to make it flashy, so just a little bit. So we're gonna do this fight with the hook shot because that's way cooler, and it doesn't waste any time. It's actually very fast. Oh yeah, and you'll notice that I have exactly one bomb, so got to get rid of that. Can't end with any bombs.
Yeah, or else it's unoptimal.
Yep.
All right, coming up on time. How many doors are we at again?
Come to think of it, I don't think I've seen any doors.
Yeah, I
Open
don't
in this
remember
run.
any. I think we're still at 0 doors.
Oh, I think -1 is what we said earlier.
Oh
is the
yeah,
Goblin door.
-1, yeah.
Yeah, we can go with that.
All right. And that's it.
No
I
doors.
think you beat. I think you beat regular OOT All Dungeons No Doors by like 1 minute.
Hey,
No,
gamers.
I did not.
Hey, is this a surprise
Hey.
guest?
It is.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say that I endorse this run. That's it.
Whoa,
Later.
the highest praise.
The highest praise. That's all I could have ever asked for. Oh man. Yeah, that was good. No, this is about 10 minutes slower than the.
Oh wait, was it? Oh.
It was like 20.
Oh,
20
was it 24? I thought it was 34.
No, I think it was 2:21, maybe.
Wait, okay, chat. What's the time of regular OOT All Dungeons No Doors? Because I clearly forgot the time.
And I do want to say, since this took me like 4 months to complete this entire thing with all like the editing, recording, all that stuff, some portions of this are a little obsolete by this point because due to things that we found, we probably would have ended up doing Deku Tree as adult with some newer tricks that were found, and we probably would have ended up that Tektite hover at the very beginning of the run wouldn't have been done. A faster, easier trick would have been done, and there's a couple of other optimization things. So I think just route changes alone could probably shave like 3 or 4 minutes off of this.
Okay.
And then with some optimization stuff, yeah. But I think
Okay, yeah, I was wrong. It was 221 for original OOT. I got my numbers mixed up.
It was close.
Still fairly close. I was really interested to see what this run would do, because the original one like heavily abused hovering, and with hovering, you know, essentially not in this game. I mean, kind of, but not nearly as useful. I was interested to see how this would adapt without hovering, and this was very cool.
Yeah.
I see the replacement for hovering is wrong warping. Death hole, wrong warping.
Kind of void warping and death hole.
Yeah, void plus death hole.
I do want to say though, everything in this run was possible without that Lost Woods void warp spot, except for beating Spirit Temple, like with a slightly different method, in some way. So as I said, some variety was cut out by using that, but it's too powerful.
How much time do you think it would have added if you only used that for Spirit Temple and did the other methods for the other ones?
Probably. Oh man, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15.
Okay, so wouldn't be huge.
Wouldn't be too
well, moderate. We'll call it moderate.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, this was a super cool run. How did chat like it?
I'm seeing some dogs. I think that's a good
I think dogs are usually positive.
Bad smiley face. Yes, thanks.
2 out of 2.
That's what I like to see. 2 out of 2. Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah. This run is not quite. I think I will have everything, like the final video versions, up on YouTube in the next 2 days. So,
all right,
that'll be good. ZFG, you can upload this commentary if you want, or not.
Yeah, sure. And then let me know when the other version's up, and I can put it in the description.
Okay. It's almost done rendering. So the version without commentary, I did add some commentary to the very, very beginning of it, where I just explained for 4 minutes like what the run is, and that version is not finished rendering yet. It'll be done tonight, and I will upload it. So it should be up in the next day or two.
All right.
So
yeah, I'll be uploading this right after the stream.
Cool. Thank you. That's cool.
All right. So do we want to watch the credits, or what are we doing here?
Oh, that's up to you.
Chat, do you like the credits, or have you seen it enough?
Dude, it's the same guy who said bad smiley face. Now he's saying no smiley face.
Nice.
I like this guy.
Yes. Yes, no. Maybe.
Ooh, I want to say something funny actually. That scene right there with the Lake Hylia tree. I think that's the debug team that appears right there. And in any percent of this game, you wrong warp to the credits, and it wrong warps right to that part of the cutscene where the debug team.
So the first thing you see when you finish the game is the debug team.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really, really good. But to be fair, these are the original N64 credits, right? So none of these people are Grezzo. The Grezzo.
Oh yeah,
credits,
OT3D has like special secondary credits after this, right?
Yeah, the credits are twice as long.
Yeah.
So. But they're also cool.
Cool.
They got cool music.
Yeah, I'll skip to the special credits since people might not have seen
credits.
that.
The Grezzo credits aren't quite as long. They're a little shorter.
Man, special credits.
Yeah, so it's all spliced, all fake. No one should have watched this. It's crap. I just fooled all of you for 2.5 hours. Get owned, Twitch chat.
Wow. You wasted my time too. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for letting me show this on here. This was a lot of fun to make. And
yeah, no problem. It was great to show.
All of the shoutouts that I have were at the beginning of the run, during the credits. So go watch it there when it gets uploaded if you want the shoutouts. The big question is, what will be next? Where do we go from here?
100% no doors.
That's what I'd like to hear. Maybe one day. Certainly, I believe with all the recent developments, we could be getting closer. Oh, no
cool.
doors would be cool too. No doors would be cool.
Wait, is no doors still not possible?
It's the first two.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't know how you're getting past those.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Wait, does the doors leading out of Clock Tower to Clock Town count? I think those probably should count too.
I don't know.
They probably don't count for the exact definition, but those are those kind of doors that kind of feel like I kind of feel like they should count.
That is not my speciality. So
right.
I'm not totally sure.
All right, yeah, we're not. I don't think this is the right time to go into door politics.
Yeah, let's keep our door politics out of Twitch chat. It's only. I don't know how to finish that sentence. Only proper, you know.
They are mobile slabs of wood, not doors. I believe that is also a term that could be used to describe doors. Mobile slabs of wood.
There it is. That's no doors.
All right. Great run. Thanks.